when we're talking about putting, your attitude and your self-belief and really visualizing, being able to visualize the ball rolling on the line that you have picked is important. And then, I mean, in execution, it's about actually getting the ball to start out on that intended line, which is what we use some of those training aids for back on the other green we talked about. But you're going to make more putts if you believe you're going to make it. Trial and error, realize that you're under-reading your putts for the most part, especially the high handicappers. Give it twice as much break as you want and start to believe that you're a good putter and that you're going to make these putts, as opposed to sitting there saying, I'm not having a self-doubt or I'm not going to make the putt, because you're really not going to make the putt with that attitude. And this has nothing to do with mechanics. You know, this isn't mechanics. This is about self-belief. And I have to say, it's one thing to be able to do it, but before you can do it, you have to see it. You have to be able to imagine it and visualize it, and then it becomes a matter of actually getting the ball to start on that intended line. Because if you're starting it out on the wrong intended line, or it's not on the line you want, you know, you're going to have issues. But it's more important to have the bigger picture of, okay, you know, I'm just going to give it a bunch of break and kind of see how it works out, and work with that, as opposed to being ball locked, technically locked, mechanically locked. Oh, I need to make sure I'm doing this and that. Now, get out of that and just take a big picture. Okay, I'm going to aim it out here and give it a run. And then this just speaks to the idea that golf is an art, and when you get on the greens, it's certainly an art. And you know, and good putters are not born; they're made. Anyone can learn how to be a good putter. Driving the ball 350 yards, that's a little harder. All right, so and just so we can be realistic, or you can be realistic with your expectations and setting some realistic, smart goals when you're talking about your putting. We have a putt here from 3 feet. These tour players, PGA Tour average is 90% made from 3 feet. So that means 10% of the time they're going to miss this putt. The best players in the world are missing 1 out of 10 of these. So, you know, it's just amazing. And then from 4 feet, they're 80%, right? If from 6 feet, they're 50%. Again, which is hard to believe. 6-foot putt, these guys are missing half of them. So you don't expect to make them all. And then if you jump out to 10 feet, it's 30%. They're only making 30% of those putts on average. And it is skewed because the guys on television that week are the ones that are making all their putts, and it makes it look like they make it look easy. Because they're peaking. They're peaking, they're having the best week of the year, maybe of their life, and they're 50 for 50 inside of 10 feet. And then from 20 feet, you're only making 10% of them. So you're not going to make too many of those putts. And that is why I've been harping on, don't practice 10-foot putts. Don't practice 20-foot putts. You can practice rolling the ball 10 and 20 feet to get a sense of what kind of effort it takes to get that kind of momentum. But don't go to the specific hole from that distance. It's going to reinforce bad. It's just bad. Everything, you're missing it. You're not used to it. You're not going to like it. If you can practice your longer putts, but you're practicing them to a distance, not to a hole. The way I practice the longer putts is putt to fringes. I putt across from one green to the other side of the green. I put down tees, put down golf clubs, whatever. But I walk it off and get a sense of what, you know, okay, I want to work on my 30-foot putt today. You know, you don't need to putt to a hole to do that. If you're going to putt to a hole 3, 4, 5, 6 feet, maybe 7 feet with a line down on the ground where it's a straight uphill putt and you really get used to it rolling in, that's fine. The idea is that if you're going to putt to a hole, make it to a distance you can make, so you start to build that positive reinforcement. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. And as we launch this new channel, we really appreciate your likes and your subscribes and comments as well. Thank you very much.